Hello,
Hello.
Tracy.
Omonigho, did I say your name right?
You did a great job. Can you show your camera, please?
Yes, I'm trying to. I'm having a little difficult try because I'm trying to put the snap camera on and it's
Okay.
not letting me. So I'll just go with the boring regular camera. Can you see me?
I can't see you yet.
Okay.
There's supposed to be a camera. Yeah, I can see you now.
You can see me now. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
but what I'm seeing though is I think it's your display photo, not a video of you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on here. Just turn it on now. Hmm.
Yeah, I can see you now.
You can see me now? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I
Wonderful
need
to
to put
have
my
you.
virtuals on because it's not working out with my snap camera. So I wanted to show you that. Oh well, next time. I'm having trouble loading it up.
Okay, that's fine. Sometimes the internet acts up. It's wonderful to finally meet you in
Yes, good
person.
to see you too.
Yeah. I've been a huge fan for a while, so I'd like to for you to introduce yourself to the community. So, who is Tracy Greenan?
Yes, yeah. So my name is Tracy. I am the founder of Aurelia+Icarus. We are a premium Phygital genderless jewelry brand based in New York City. We started a few years ago in Stockholm, Sweden. I am actually Canadian. I am Asian Irish, first generation Canadian. And we moved into the digital space about a year and a half ago. And it's been a wild, wild, crazy ride. I met a lot of super fantastic people. And within that year, I got really involved. I became a mentor at the Future Connoisseurs, which is a global alliance of global luxury alliance. I'm a digital fashion advisor at Meta Tailor, which is a platform to buy, sell, and trade fully operable 3D wearables for gaming. I'm digital fashion advisor at Web3 Gallery here in New York City, right on Fifth Avenue, and I'm ambassador for the Fashion League. My stuff has been featured in most of the big fashion magazines. Still waiting for Vogue, but I've been in Elle, Harper's.
That
Yeah.
should happen soon, though.
Sorry?
That should happen soon. Vogue should happen soon.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah. That's kind of me in a nutshell. I did Paris Fashion Week last year. I did New York Fashion Week. Aurelia and Chris was a ones to watch two-time winner, and yeah, got a lot of good press out of that. And yeah, and it's just been I've just been riding the wave and meeting great people like you and being inspired
Thank
by
you.
the whole Web3 collective, global collective. So
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Amazing, amazing. I was just reading your bio and I was blown away. You're pretty much uh, like a jack of all trades and a master of all. You know, you started out as a shoe designer,
Yeah.
working as a shoe designer while still going to fashion school. And I heard
Yes.
your design was so good, they were stealing it out of store windows. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. When I found that out, I thought, wow, I'm on the right path here. When people are risking jail time to wear my shoes, that's I think
Why
one
couldn't they afford to buy them? Why were they stealing them? I know it was amazing, but
yeah, there was a lot of like young people in their early 20s, buying the stuff, buying the
mm,
shoes, and
mm,
yeah, it was in Toronto. That was wild. The brand wanted me to quit design school and work full time for them, but I couldn't. I had finished my degree, and I sometimes I think back and wonder, well, where would I be now if I had decided to do that? But I mean,
mm.
everything. everything happens for a reason, career-wise, in everybody's lives. So I'm just, I'm following the path that it's never been a straight line. Like it's like that for everybody, everyone, and constant learning process.
Yeah. And you've designed, you had your clothing line,
Hmm.
you've had clothing line, you've designed furniture, you
Yes,
designed eyewear for Anne Klein.
yes,
Now you're designing jewelry. So can
yes.
you tell us about that, career trajectory? I know something a bit sad happened with the clothing line. You had your line of clothing, you were about to open a store, and then you had a stalker, and you had to leave. Was it New York City at that time?
Well, I had a showroom in New York, but I also was based in Toronto. So I had like 4 factories working on my stuff in Toronto. This was before people were outsourcing to China. I felt a lot of pressure to outsource, but I wanted to keep things closer to where I was based in Toronto. Yeah. So what happened was I had some really good press in Toronto, and so I had some people coming into my studio wanting to get involved with the label, which was great. But then I also had my studio was not public,
Mhm.
so these people would come in, and we would talk to them, but it was not open for the public. And so what happened was there was somebody who with a criminal record, a total stranger, just started following me, and it just amassed into something really out of control. It got so bad where I had to have a police car parked outside my apartment building, and
Wow.
and it was just like I remember looking out my apartment window, which was I lived on the main street of Toronto called Queen Street West. So there's a lot of traffic there, but I remember looking out the window while all this was going on and seeing the police car and other people just standing there looking, trying to look into my window, and I just thought this is a circus. I can't handle this. And then I had some detectives working on my case, and they said, Tracy, you have to start, when you leave the house, you have to change how you look. You have to be very discreet. And it got to the point where I couldn't leave. I was trapped in my apartment. I couldn't
Wow.
get things done because I was being harassed. And it got to the point where I lost a lot of friends because people were scared to be around me. And, and then I would get comments like, "Oh, how cool is it that you've got a stalker?" No, you don't know until you've actually been harassed like this through through somebody through like the media, how damaging it can be and how it can really kill your career. So my two really close friends took me out of my apartment, and I had a ticket, and I went straight to London because I'm also British. And I remember I had to throw everything out of my apartment. I had like minutes. I just chucked everything. And then, my agency in New York was asking me what is going on. My factories were asking me what is going on. And this was a long time ago. This is before you hear about stuff like stalkers and all that. And I was so embarrassed and ashamed about what was going on. I couldn't even tell my family what was happening. And I couldn't tell, let alone telling, my industry contacts what was going on. So all that revenue, I had to like just leave it. Leave all the shipping was in mid-transit while I was hopping on this plane. I had to shut everything down, get to London, and start over again. And then when I got to London, there was a very few people I told what was going on. But my closest confidant, who I did tell, said, "Do you want it?" Because I wanted to get back into business again. And he said, "Do you want the same thing happening to you?" And I said, "No, you're right." And I was so young at the time, and I don't want this happening to me. I'll just lay low. And, even when I went to headhunters with my CV, they said, "Oh, we don't know how to market you." Because I was so young at the time. They said there wasn't much young founders out there at the time. They said, "You're going to have to really dumb down your CV because nobody's going to
What,
hire
what,
you."
what year was this though? Because you say it was so long ago, before factories, before you. What year was this?
Oh no, factories were always been around, but this was like in the 2000s. So in the not in the noughties. So Yeah, and so I had to dumb down my CV. I had to fake my CV to make it look like I was like nobody. And I started off just working entry level jobs in fashion, with nothing wrong with that, but it was just made me feel kind of sad because I had to start over again. But I learned a lot. I mean, I had to take on a lot of like menial jobs, like just labor job. I worked like 3 jobs at one time, and I was trying to find myself and try to figure out what was I going to do next. I ended up working for a quite well-known fashion designer in London, and nobody knew my background, and I started from there. And it fast forward 10 or so years later, I'm living in Stockholm, Sweden, and I confided to somebody about what happened, and then she said to me, well, why don't you just start off your business again, but start small. With fashion, you have all these big patterns, like you have to carry around big bolts of fabric, but with jewelry, it's small. So she says, start small with jewelry. You can carry it around, and I thought that was a great idea. So that's what I did. And by then, technology has advanced quite a bit, where I felt like I was strong enough. I can, if anything horrible were to happen again, I've got technology on my side. I'm older. I'm like fiercer. I'm a lot more confident. And nobody, if this were to happen again, 100%, I will turn the tables around so fast. They will be the one that stopped.
Definitely. Definitely. So tell me, when exactly did you? Okay, so Aurelia and Icarus is your jewelry brand. It's Phygital. For
Yes.
those who don't know what digital means, is a mixture of the physical and the digital. Why? When did it start? So you've told us the why you started it. When I think you said you started 3 years ago.
Right. So I got into digital fashion. I heard about it 2 years ago, and I thought, oh, this is a great idea. I want to be a part of it. But then I just got distracted with everyday business. I just put it on this, put it to the side and forgot about it. It wasn't until about a year and a half ago, I think, I got a call from a luxury digital fashion platform, digital fashion platform called Entourage. They're based in Paris. The founder is American. Her name is Lauren Kasher. And she asked me to do a clubhouse talk with Jewels. They're an Austrian-based digital accessories platform. And of course I had to say yes, but I really didn't know why they were calling me to jump in on this call. But once I started talking to them on the clubhouse talk, I realized, yes, this is something I want to be a part of. And so after that, I went to Decentral Miami. And for those of you listening that don't know about Miami, Miami is like the capital in the US when it comes to Web3 and crypto and digital fashion. And it was not the last Decentral Miami, it was one before that. And I remember being in my hotel room and looking at the agenda and thinking, I don't know what I'm doing here. How do I approach these people? How do I approach these people? I don't know how do I get into this? I felt like, in school there was the popular kids, the cool popular kids, and I was a very uncool, nerdy kid. I wanted to be part of that group, but I didn't know how to. So I just went up to them and I said, look, I'm a brand, I'm a rather small brand. I want to get into this. I don't know how, but I would love to collaborate. And it was that word collaborate that got people talking. They said, yes, let's do this. Let's collaborate. And so I did. My first collaboration was with Jewels, the digital accessories platform. And we put together a Phygital collection where I supplied the necklace and earrings. And then they digitized that into 3D. And we put that together in a kit called the Metaverse Starter Kit for Style Lovers. And it was our first little collaboration together. And it was great. We had the little feature mentioned in the New York Times, so that was something really nice. So that's how I got into it, and then little by little, I learned a lot and started doing more things with Web3.
Amazing. So you're based in Sweden? Is the brand
No,
based in Sweden?
I'm based in New York.
Okay.
I'm in New York. Well, right now I'm in Spain, but I'm based in New York City.
Okay. Incredible. Right. So for those who don't know, what's AR and how is it the future of retail? When I say AR, I mean augmented reality. So how is it the future of retail?
Right. So AR is fantastic because augmented reality brings everything to life, right? So you could have you could have your renderings, which is fine, but AR really makes things you can wear them, and this is what's so exciting about the metaverse and Web3. People can interact with their wearables, and it makes great conversation, and it builds enthusiasm for brands, and it opens up a whole new enthusiastic audience for brands that they never thought possible before. And there's a lot of great things that you can do with it. You can wear them on your social media and on all sorts of different platforms. More and more platforms you can start wearing
You
AR.
were supposed to
And
wear it for this interview. You were supposed to wear your
yes,
digital
yes,
earrings for
yeah.
this interview,
I'm
but
having problems with my. I'm not sure if it's the Wi-Fi or what, but that's what I love about AR. And when I have an AR startup, and very new. I came up with the concept when I was at Paris Fashion Week, and my partner said, "Oh, you got to work on your pitch deck." So I was locked up in my hotel room a couple of days before my show, thinking of how can I make this pitch deck more interesting and exciting. And that's when I came across. I thought about CAVIAR. That's my new startup, and CAVIAR is a proprietary AR startup built around a team of serial entrepreneurs, award-winning developers, and engineers. With very lucky to have a star-studded board of advisors. Very new. We're only a couple months old, but we've had some super great traction. I'm not even posting online what we're doing because I've been told to keep things quiet for now. We just started fundraising. We're looking for pre-seed funding. We've done our financials. Things are looking super great. I can't wait to let the world know about what we're doing once we
is
start
this,
getting
is
things
this
going.
caviar? Is this
Caveat,
caviar?
yeah. Yes.
Ah, because that was the next question. I was going to ask you about caviar. What's it all about?
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. It is a proprietary AR startup. So we're doing something very special that nobody else is doing in digital fashion. We're doing more than just digital fashion. I can't talk more about it, but it's something that's very different. And I kind of like the fact that we are doing something very different from people in digital fashion, because I've always wanted to do something different, twist it up a bit. I've always wanted to be like an outlier and do something a bit different. I think everything's fantastic what people are doing in digital fashion. I just want to branch out and go my own way. And this is what CAVIAR is all about, branching out and doing something very different and proprietary.
Amazing. So you seem to have your finger in many pies. You are, in different on different committees. You're on you're on the advisory board of the Metaverse Fashion Council, and you have a family. You spoke about your son a couple of weeks back. So how do you juggle family and all these responsibilities? How do you find balance?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult. My son doesn't live at home, so it's a little bit easier for me. But I think prioritizing is the number one thing, because if you don't prioritize, it's so easy to lose control of your emails. And I have 2-day planners. I'm very old fashioned. I like to write things down. Sometimes I put it on my calendar as well, and I've got people helping me stay in line. But it's not easy. But the reason I think I still grind through things is because I think how I was raised. Both my parents are immigrants. They come from dirt poor backgrounds, and I'm very inspired from particularly my mom, who immigrated to the United States, knowing nobody. She just came on her own, and she would work. She would grind from one job to another. She would work really long shifts, fall asleep on the bus, take the bus to go to her next job, and then once that's down, fall asleep on the bus again, and she would send all her money home. And I think when I see like how my relatives are back home, they're still, it's still like a super hard struggle for them. And I'm super grateful to be in the position I am in. So when it's hard for me to complain about anything because I'm so very grateful to be living with like a roof over my head. I got food, I got good health. So when things get tense or hard in business, it's really easy for me to look at the big picture.
So you describe yourself as a woman of color. I thought you were part black, but you've just explained that you are part Irish and then Filipino,
Yes.
and you were raised in Canada before you immigrated to the United States.
Yes.
So is that the reason why you say you're colored? Sorry, a woman of color.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
because I'm an African, so I don't know these terms. So
Yeah.
how do you define a person of color? I usually thought they were black people.
Oh, no, that applies to Hispanics, that applies to Asians, any kind of color. Believe
Wow.
me, yeah, so that's
As long as you're not European or American, you're a person of color. Is that it?
well, Americans can be all types of colors, but yeah, if a person of color it spans the rainbow, really. It's any kind of shade, if there's shade there. Even if you're looking as fair, I'm a light-skinned Asian, so
Yeah, you look white.
yeah, but I still have that. I know what it's like, to have a very different experience in life compared to a Caucasian person. And I think that is a great thing to have a different background because that bringing those experiences is what makes businesses, when you have diversity like that in business, it helps a business because we bring, not only do we bring like a female, do I bring a female brain, but we bring like a woman of color into business. With those experiences, that helps businesses think differently than just a corporate business run by a bunch of white guys. So this is all very valuable, I think, I know that for business. And we should have more diversity, for sure.
Definitely, definitely. So, speaking of diversity, what do you think about African participation in the Web3 space? Recently, in Nigeria, Malik Afegwa went viral with his AI renditions of elderly people on the runway, on the fashion runway.
Oh, yeah,
What
yeah.
did you catch that on
I
BBC?
saw a post. I saw a post on that. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
I think, yeah, I definitely need more diversity. Definitely. I love how Africa's getting into that. And I think there needs to be more incentives to bring this market because it's a huge untapped market and a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent, and great thing about digital fashion is we don't have to, it's digital downloads. We don't have to worry about shipping or inventory. If you're going to start a business, you can open a store and everything in there you can have a pop-up store with no physical inventory. So there's a lot of opportunity to be had. And I think this would probably start with schools offering training to bring that to the masses.
Yeah. Speaking of training, we have been privileged, though it's not been official yet, but we've been privileged to have scholarships from the Digital Fashion Group awarded to members of this community, and these are one of the few ways, inclusivity is encouraged. And I know that you're a member of the Metaverse Fashion Council, which is kind of like the CFDA, but for digital fashion, and
Yes.
it's worldwide. So it will be great if there is like an African point of view on that council, so that there is even more diversity and inclusivity. So, in conclusion, where do you see Tracy Greenan and her incredible Phygital uh, jewelry brand in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I thought about this, and I would ideally, I don't know which company, but ideally, I would like to make an exit. That's my goal in the next 5 years.
You want to make an exit?
Yes. So,
Really?
yes, I'm gonna make an
Like
exit.
leave, sell off your jewelry brand and go somewhere and retire?
Well, I'm not saying which company, but I would like to exit from one company.
Okay, okay. Is there a particular reason why?
No, I think it would be great to focus on just one brand. So to
Mm,
have one brand where it's like my main focus would be great.
mm. Okay, so for instance, because Caviar is relatively new, so I
Yeah.
don't think an exit from Caviar will be feasible anytime time soon. So it will probably be your jewelry brand. So do you plan to sell it off, or what do you plan to do?
Yeah, I'm not saying right now which company it would be. It's in the next 5 years, but it is there is one company now that's just taken a lot of my time, and I think it'd be wise for me to focus on one company.
Mm. It's been great having you, Tracy. I'm a huge fan, like I said. Probably one of these days we'll invite you over to give a master class,
Yeah.
on the concept of design. I don't know if any member of the community has any questions for Tracy. Does anybody have any questions?
No questions.
No
Okay,
questions.
I'm amazed. Javo G is just joined us, and I think he joined us because of you. He's a digital designer from Mexico. Javo, do you have any questions for Tracy? Because I'm quite sure you're a huge fan. That's the reason why
Mr.
you came
Mr.
in.
Justice.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
we can.
So
Oh, I guys and guys, you hear me well. It's just very good to hear, the story that I didn't know this
We can barely hear you, Javo.
word telling right now, and it's wonderful you have, making all this great effort from yourself. No? Hello?
oh, we can't hear Java, we can't hear you. Can you repeat, please?
Okay. Yes, that just say that I didn't know about your story, how you were, creative. And I think it's just one of the strength and, like, creative. So, and Tracy from Javel, I actually have, from earrings. I think I have a zodiac, and
Ah,
no, it's yours, isn't it? Yes, I have another one as well. And my wife uses him, when she makes a couple calls. I use him a couple times this week.
oh, cool. Oh, that's great.
It's thank you very much. And well, I know her since years ago, and she has, I'm sure you guys, she'll definitely look at the NFTs that she's making, the jewelry, and her vision of how, retail could place. So thank you very much for having me, and have a great day. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Fashion Collective.
Thank you very much, Java. I'm sorry, we probably only caught a sliver of what you said there, but from what I
I,
understand,
I didn't hear anything, but with the way you were responding, I thought you heard everything he was saying, so that was why I was silent. But Javo, it's great to have you. Does Rita have any questions for Tracy? Ayobami, do you have any questions for Tracy concerning digital fashion? Okay, so I want to assume that, there are no questions. So, Tracy, I have to let you go now. It's been wonderful having you
It's been an
here.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Javo, thank you for your kind words. I only got a little bit of what you said. I think I understand you have my Zodiac digital earrings, which is super cool. I'd love to see them. And something else, but I missed that. But thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that. Thank you everybody for attending.
All right then. Take care.
Cheers. Thank you. Oh, and happy Chinese New Year, everybody.
Same here. All right
Yeah,
then.
Tomorrow.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.